5 questions to help you boost your ASVAB score.
Welcome to Mini Quiz Monday, guys. I'm dropping mini quizzes every Monday. Happy studying out there, and remember to be kind to yourself and treat yourself as a learner. All right, take care, guys.
What's up, everybody? Here we go. Week 4 Mini Quiz Monday. Time for some more solutions. All right, guys. So let's get into it. 5 questions to help you boost your ASVAB score. If the ratio of boys to girls is 3 to 5 and there are 15 boys, how many girls are there? Great question. This is another one where you can back solve it pretty straightforward. You'll say 3x plus 5y equals, we don't know. But we do know there are 15 boys. So it's actually going to be 3x plus 5x. So if 3x is the number of, and this is important, you need to know the number of boys and you need to know the number of girls. And if you switch these backwards, you'll be wrong. So it's very important to keep your ratios in order. Boys to girls, 3 to 5. Boys is to 3, as girls is to 5. There you go. And so this is a good question. You can kind of see right off the bat, the first thing you kind of want to have jump out at you is that there are more girls than boys, right? And so you check the answers first, make sure that there's nothing that's less than the number of boys. So there are 15 boys, many. And you can back solve this if you wanted to, but the easiest way to go through this is there are 15 boys, so it's 3 parts. And the cool thing about that is you just say 3x equals 15. So 3 pieces is going to be to 15. You divide both sides by 3, and you see that x divided by 3 divided by 3, x is going to equal 5. And so if x is 5, you can just plug that in, 5 and 5. And so you get 15 boys plus 25 girls. And so you would just go with that answer of 25. That's probably the fastest way to do it. A few other ways, you could try to get creative here and be like, okay, these are all increments of 5, which is good, but you have to use that 15 boys amount to help you get to that, to bridge the gap between the ratio of boys to girls. Oftentimes you'll see these ratio talk about the number of students. So the number of students. And then you have to kind of like extrapolate. This one's even easier than that though. If it's 3 pieces are boys, 5 are girls, and 15 are boys, whatever you do to this side to turn that 3 into a 15, you want to do the same thing to this 5. And in this case, you're just multiplying by 5. Do the same thing over here, and you'll get that 25. All right, so the answer here, 25. All right, question 2. This is a good classic decimal point question. You can just kind of line this one up, 0.75 times 0.2. Multiply. Don't worry about the decimals while doing the multiplication. Add them in after you've solved. So go ahead and do the multiplication. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 1. Plus 1, plus this one is going to be 15. And then 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. And so you get 150. Now the question is it 1.5 or 15 or 0.15? And anytime you're timesing a decimal by a decimal, you know that number has to go down, right? Just like if you take a fraction of a fraction, you're going to shrink numbers. So it has to be less than that 0.7. So you're going to be one of those two. And to get the correct answer, what you do is you count the number of decimals in your question number in your answer. 1, 2, 3. So this is 1 decimal place, this is 2. And so that's going to be 1, 2, 3 over, and you just put the 0 out in front. And so it's 0.15 is going to be the correct answer, 0.15. If you got this answer, you were so close. And so that's one of my favorite reasons for teaching ASVAB is a lot of people will do all the right work, but make a simple mistake. So track of those decimals, because the ASVAB exam itself is trying to see if you can catch those mistakes. So 0 is the correct answer for this one. Question 3, 120 miles in 3 hours. The answer here is going to be 40 miles per hour. If you're able to do it in your head like that, that's great. but I would always recommend doing distance divided by time, which is why we use the term miles per hour. And so in this case, the distance is 120 miles divided by 3 hours. And so you'll get, to do the division, top dog goes in the house, 3 goes outside. How many times does 3 go into 1? It won't fit. How many times does 3 go into 12? It'll fit 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12, minus equals 0. Bring down the 0. 3, 0 is 0 times. And so you get zeros, and you are now complete with your division. And so you get 40 miles per hour that way. And then one way also to think about it is you can back solve this one as well. If we started with, say, 35 miles, 35 times 3 hours, if we're going 30 hours at 35 miles per hour, we can see if that's too much or too little. So I would stack it and get the 15. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, 105, and that's too low because we needed it to be 120. And so now you just check with the 40. 40 times 3, does that equal 120? And as you can see, 4 times 3, 0, 120. And so we're happy with that 40, not with the 35. Great example of back solving. Not too difficult of a question. Super common question is going to be with these rates questions. So be ready for that. All right, choose the word that most nearly means super, deep, thorough, intense, and shallow. Again, I'm always going to recommend looking at the opposites. So deep and shallow are opposites. Also, intense and deep are kind of similar. Somebody's intense and deep. And so in this case, the answer that makes the most sense is going to be shallow. And that is what superficial means. Superficial is actually like if you are driving your car and you scratch it, and it's a scratch that just kind of buffs right out. It doesn't really scratch too hard. You can just make it disappear. It's superficial. It didn't break through. And so that's what you'd say. Superficial is things that are on the surface, which is that shallow statement. Okay. All right. Next question. And very important with paragraph comprehension. I review this every week, but it's worth saying again, for every time you do paragraph questions, start with a question, go through the answers for a little bit, and then read critically. So order matters for these. You do get 3 minutes per question on this one, so don't worry too much about the time. Start with the question and then read with that critical eye. So, according to the passage, what percentage of the Earth's oxygen is produced by the Amazon rainforest? All right, trying to figure out, is it 10, 15, 20, 25? I'm going to guess 20%. And then we'll see if I'm right. And that way you can kind of look, seeing, is there a 20%? Oh, shoot, I got it right. Lucky me. Probably got it right. But we don't know for sure until it's read. The Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of the planet, produces approximately 3% of the Earth's oxygen. It is home to millions of species of plants and animals, many of which are not found anywhere else in the world. So we're going to go with that 20%, and that is going to be the correct answer. All right, guys, quick video today. Hope that was helpful, and best of luck on your ASVAB journey, on your Amazon journey. All right, guys, have a great weekend.